double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah, we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack, just like I'm Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at. Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah, we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. I'm your host, Scott Lewis. Of course, you know to follow me on all social media platforms at Barberchair Scott. Follow the Barberchair Network at Barberchair. All those, those links, all those in the description box. Y'all know the 100 links to follow. Just click on the subscribe button to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Patreon. We got a good episode of the Monday Patreon show coming. I know I said Tuesday. It's either going to be Monday or Tuesday. It kind of depends on what the topic of the episode is. Well, I did this one with Adam Johns from CSGO. We got a lot of Bears Nuggets in there. So we're going to drop that on Monday because that's when the new league year starts. So, yeah. Anyway, man, joining me today, we got the one and only JR Bang. Of course, you can follow Bang at JR Bang. And we got our brother Mariano here joining us this week. Mariano, let them know they can follow you.
Yes, sir. At Mariano Bivens on Instagram, at Mariano 2 N's 2 O's. Like I tell your aunt when she asked for money on Twitter. I'm still calling it Twitter too. I'm not calling it the other.
Yeah. We're not calling it anything else. It's Twitter forever.
That's it.
Yeah, man. So, Bang, man, how you feeling?
Man, I'm just trying to get free agency started, or at least this legal tampering period, so we can stop getting all of these teasers and accounts, fake ass accounts, or these accounts that got like 32 followers that's trying to trying to get a name for themselves. I'm just trying to get this NFL lying period out the way so we can go ahead and see what's going on.
And this is a peak lying period. And it's always the one with 32 followers. They'll come on here in your comments. And now, before I argue with people, I go check their follow count and go look at their real quick.
I'm proud of you. I
used to not do that. Yeah, because I commented on this video on Instagram. If you see me in comments on Instagram videos, I've used that as a strategy because it usually leads people to my page.
100%.
So I've gotten more followers since doing that.
Yep.
So I saw this one video of like Barney, but like in a nigga voice. I forgot we're not saying the N-word on here no more, but whatever, I said it. So he was talking like he was black, but the kid on there name was Jamal. So I put in the comments, laughed my ass off, why y'all name him Jamal though? Just a random black name. And then some account said, cause he's black. I was about to go in, then I clicked on the person profile. It was like 15 followers. It was like one picture. I was like, this probably a
And that's all they wanted is for somebody like you to just come along and have like a lot of sense, but then like engage with them as well. Like that's what they want. They want somebody that's passionate about it so that they can just be like, cool, I got them to react for 10 minutes out of their day, mission accomplished. And it's like, dog, you can't give people what they want. Not for real. Not those type of
people. Like, you definitely can't. So anybody who knows me know I've come a long way from that. But we are only streaming on Facebook and YouTube because I learned I need to bring more traffic to the YouTube page. The views have been better the last 2 weeks. by not streaming on Twitter. So come to the source, press subscribe, and enjoy. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today, man. We'll just quickly go over the rundown before we, do our warm-up period. Where did I put the rundown? I just had it right here. There we go. So this is the rundown for today. We're going to talk about DJ Moore being traded. We're going to talk about what's our trust level with Rome Odunze and Luther Burden III. They're going to have a lot more responsibility now that DJ is going to Buffalo. We'll talk about something that took me completely off guard this week, which is Drew Dalman retiring. We'll talk about what is Ryan Poles cooking now that he's got $45 million in new cap space. And that's before he even started doing restructures. And then we're going to talk about Mr. Cosplay Kobe himself, Jayson Tatum, trying to rip his Achilles off by playing this early. He's tweaking, and we're going to talk about why he's tweaking. But before we get into that, we got to start our first segment, which is called I'm Not Gonna Hold You, which we just started last week, where we just rant on random topics. There's two things I want to talk about today, gentlemen. One, has Jim Carrey been kidnapped? I think we really need to talk about this. Like, have y'all seen the video of him on that red carpet? And now you got some guy saying, oh, that was him. He had like the Jim Carrey mask.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. Like, did the people get to him? Because, he was talking about, social issues in all his interviews. Like, because that didn't look like Jim Carrey to me.
Yeah, hell no, that didn't look like Jim Carrey. Like, it not only did it not look like Jim Carrey, it looked like somebody trying to look like Jim Carrey, but not doing a great job at that as well. So the whole shit, I was just like, oh, okay, this is some, something up under these like conspiracy theorist posts or whatever. But then I saw somebody tweet something that said, imagine getting work done so bad that people think that like you got kidnapped and cloned and all this. So I'm like, well, damn, it could be him with just some bad work. But this is what I want to believe. Maybe this ain't what happened, but this is what I want to believe about Jim Carrey. That he's somewhere peaceful, chilling, and he's like, fuck it, let's just see what they come up with. Let's see what they come up with next. Like, I'm chilling, I'm good. Let me just see what else theories and shit they make up next to that he can like laugh at and be entertained by and shit. I think he's good.
Yeah, I hope he's good. I really hope he's good. I was just reading this tweet, bang. Bill Zimmerman on Twitter, right? Bears Twitter.
Yeah.
He just tweeted out a gift that said Linderbaum, Linderbaum, Linderbaum. Now, I had Adam Johns on the pod today. He really feels like they're getting them too. So we'll see. We'll see. That'd be good. But I'm with you, Mariano. He's got to be safe because you just can't be kidnapping famous white people and think everything's going to be all right. Like, something was up. He was talking weird. And then I saw something where they said he's left-handed, but the picture of him signing autographs, it was his right hand. It was weird.
Yeah.
It was weird. But what I mainly wanted to talk about, now, Mariano, I don't know, do you watch Industry?
You know what? Me and my wife, we started it, but we are not caught up on it currently. So I would be completely tapped out of what's been going on. Yeah, we started it though. We got to get back to it. We're watching like 13 shows. We like season. Did we watch the second season? Maybe we watched. Maybe. Because what season is it currently?
Well, season 4 just wrapped on Sunday.
So we probably so we watched 2 for sure. We watched two seasons for sure.
I would try to hold spoilers here.
All right, cool. Yeah, I mean, even if you do, I might forget by the time we catch up.
Okay, cool. Bang! I was disappointed, bro. I was disappointed by the episode, and I'm fearful about where this season next year is gonna go, because it's kind of like, what's the plot? You know what I'm saying? When Rob left the show at the end of season 3, I didn't really like that, and now you have the whole Henry storyline, which really isn't. That book is closed now. Now that we saw what happened with him giving himself up to the police, his rich uncle came and saved him, which has got to be amazing to have a rich white uncle who can save you from like stuff like espionage and things like that. So you got that scenario is gone. And now you got Yasmin being the head mistress, and you got Harper shocked like she ain't known Shorty for 5 years and know that she's just a hurt individual, and she might do stuff like be a pimp. And now just kind of like, I don't know where to go from here. It's like the episode before last, to me, was like the finale. I was on the edge of my seat. This is just kind of like, eh. And that's why whenever a show gets too good and we start bringing up names like Sopranos and Succession, you got to chill out because they're liable to fumble. Game of Thrones fumbled, and I feel like, not Succession, but industry fumbled. There's no way back to the Succession table after this. Especially they're going to be having to do one extra season, which we saw that show's going to be coming to an end next year. The show that Bane doesn't like, The Bear, will be ending in season 5. And Euphoria will be ending in season 3. So a lot of big shows are ending. Bane, what was your thoughts on the finale?
It was so HBO shows, to me, the season finale don't be the episode to watch. It be the episode before. I forgot exactly what they called, like the term
penultimate.
Yeah, the penultimate episode. Like that is always the episode to watch. That's the episode that everything goes down. So because of that, I don't mind the season finale because everything happened in the whatever you call it again episode. With that being said, yo man, Shorty nasty as hell. But when you look at the character development, it's like par for the course. She felt like she was getting groomed by her daddy. She's mad as hell about that. And groomed to mess with these older dudes. She found somebody that was being done the same way. And now they like madams and shit. And they was kicking it with Nazis and all that stuff. So it was weird. I will say it was weird. It was weird that they went full Epstein in Maxwell. But I think that's why it was weird to me. Mostly because I thought we was talking about finance. Like I ain't think we was going into the nasty
and that's
side.
another thing. This show was a show about finance until this season. Now who knows? They just be throwing random HBO storylines. We're gonna be a little bit of Mad Men. We're gonna be a little bit of Succession, a little bit of Billions. And we just
I didn't know the creator was black though.
The who?
The creator was black.
He's British black. I'm not going to expand on that, but if you know, you know.
you know. But I ain't know he was British black. I ain't know he was Idris Elba in them.
I didn't know Idris was British, honestly, till like, I want to say 7-8 years ago. I heard him talking. I was like, whoa, Stringer Bell is British?
Nah, for real. That's one of those that when you hear it, you like, dog, I can't unhear you on the wire, bro. I can't.
7-8 years ago?
Yeah.
That's still late.
Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, because everything I've seen him in was American stuff. Like, I didn't know he was one of the men them until like when he started DJing.
Yeah. He DJ'd out here. And I was like, what?
He started talking like James Bond.
That's crazy.
Oh,
Since we've seen them.
And by the way, the shorty, and this is how we'll close it. The shorty who is like, I guess like the mistress under Yasmin, she 100% has that tape. She talk about she ain't got the tape. She got that tape of her, Yasmin, and Jon Snow getting down. There's no doubt.
And she definitely probably got the tape of her smashing Whitney. I won't go no further. I won't go no further than that, but she definitely probably got that joint with Whitney.
Whitney's which is a weirdo.
Yeah, that of course you're a weirdo if you tell her to go up in the drawer.
Yeah.
Like, nah, Jack, I'm straight.
Whitney was a weirdo. But anyway, let's move on to the sports portion of the show, man. I want to start first. Mariano, we got to talk about your Giants, man. Haven't got your opinion on the new era for the New York football Giants.
Yes.
That bald bastard Brian Daboll is no longer there. You got John Harbaugh.
Yeah, his ass is out of here.
pretty solid rookie season from Jackson Dart.
Mm-hmm.
Not 100% sold yet, but like I told somebody else the other day, I shop at Trader Joe's now, so I'm a little bit more bougie when it comes to quarterbacks.
Welcome, my brother. I'll be sending you recommendations now. I'll send you some recs. That's my spot, man. So
So it's like I want to see what he's gonna be like in year 2. I think the number one thing
100%.
I'm afraid for him is he get knocked out all the time. He gotta stay on the field. Yeah. He gave the Bears hell before that concussion knocked out. I think it was like week 11 or something like that.
Yeah, man.
But just let me know what you think about this past season, Harbaugh, and where you think this whole thing's gonna go.
So, number one, let me start with this. I have a disdain for the Chargers. I don't care if they're in San Diego or LA or in the Wall. I got a disdain for them, right? So I was happy that Jackson Dart's first win and our first win of the season came against the Chargers. That's number one. But overall, I'm happy with Jackson Dart. I'm happy with Scatterboo, Malik Neighbors, with these guys being the core. Obviously, Scatterboo and Malik got hurt. Expecting them to be back good for next season, especially Leak, his rehab and is coming along good. But the most important part of this is Harbaugh, right? Us getting John Harbaugh, it gives some credibility to the position because since we fired Tom Coughlin, I believe it's only been Pat Shurmur who had previous head coaching experience, that we hired. Damn. Other than that, it's a coordinator here, a coordinator there. And the record is terrible. I think we only won something like 54 games. We're like 54, 80, and 1 tie or something like that. Like these numbers like haunt me. You know what I'm saying? It gives some credibility to it. And even that part pays dividends because you got Denard Wilson, who was our new defensive coordinator, because Shane Bowen was absolutely, I don't want to use profanity, so I'm just going to say he was terrible. But Denard Wilson had an opportunity to have this job, I believe it was like 2 years ago or something, before he took the job in Tennessee. And this is the same job. And then now that John is there, he's like, oh, yeah, I can pull up now. You know what I'm saying? I feel comfortable pulling up. So it gives us credibility. It gives us a culture, because that's what they've been talking about these last games of the season for the past 2-3 years, where we could have lost the last game. And, you can't tell players to go out there and lose a game. I get that. But from a coaching standpoint, from a front office standpoint, sit these guys down. You know what's going on. We had a chance to get a top pick, number 1, number 2, whatever, and they'll go out there and just win the game and, chalk it up to like culture, a culture that didn't exist. It's a terrible team. But we got a chance to turn that around, because if you look at last season, and I'm taking away just like my bias because I'm a fan, about 6 or 7, the kids are like that, about 6 or 7 of these games was like 1-score games, shit that we just completely blew, like blew the game. Like, and no disrespect, shout out to your Chicago Bears. Caleb Wilson, Caleb Williams. I'm looking at my group chat. My group chat is talking about Caleb Wilson breaking his thumb. Yeah, he's out for the season. Yeah, my group chat is going crazy about that. So, but Caleb Williams, he's spectacular. And I tweeted something recently when it was in the playoffs, and I was like, yo, it's over with for the Mahomes-like thing. It's over with for he looks like this. Like, he's just Caleb Williams. He's an incredible player. So
he's the Iceman. Got everybody doing this.
Yeah, he's deservingly, because that other guy, I don't want to get into that. But so, in that game specifically, it was like, bro, that game was over with. A few coaching adjustments here and there, you're supposed to win that game. That's one of those games. You know what I mean? But shout out to him, he made plays. I wanted to highlight that. But those games could go another way if you have a better coach, because that's what it comes down to. You know what I mean? Decision making, play calling. The personnel, obviously, yes, but we have talent out there that, capable of getting it done. It was terrible play calling after terrible play call. And I think we got the right person in there now to at least start turning things around, and we, make us at least a serious organization again. Even from the way he came in and talked about how when he was a kid and he looked at the Giants as the New York Football Giants, and that's how he addresses us every single time. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, and I think too, I tweeted immediately after John Harbaugh got mutually left the Ravens. When you've been a coach somewhere a long time, mutual means we just respect you enough not to fire you.
100%.
But you're not coming back. And so that's why I feel Mike Tomlin got ahead of the curve. I thought they was going to can his ass. He was like, you know what? Let me just chill out and say I'm done. But as soon as I saw he was gone, I was like, that's the next coach of the New York Football Giants. And like you just said, it's about rebuilding that culture. Forget the wins for a second. You got to reestablish that you are the New York Giants, that you were one of the biggest franchises in the history of this league. And the same thing the Bears had to do. You know, we make this joke about charter franchise. But I think we proved this last season that the league is better when the Bears are good. They were entertaining. Yeah. There was people who this is how I knew that the new coaching, and this is what I'm bringing together, worked. I saw fine women at Bears games. Like, I'm talking about club level. Like, it's like they were bringing them out. That's when you know you got a good team. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just about bringing that culture back. And I think we got the wrong vibe about John Harbaugh just because he overstayed his welcome in Baltimore. You know, he's still a great coach.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's the thing. You know, I saw people immediately go like, "Oh, he was only able to get XYZ with Lamar, so how you going to expect him to do this with the Giants?" And it's like, yo, you can't really judge like what this situation is going to be based off of, you know, your expectations on the last one. Like, you know, he got a fresh start over here. His voice is new over here. His presence is new over there. It's the same thing with Tom Coughlin. Tom Coughlin, a hell of a coach, 2 Super Bowls with us, but his voice got old after a while. And I think it was just like, okay, it's time to move on. Now, we've made the wrong decision every time when it came to coaching. But I think that this is the way you turn it around because, like I said, with the Denard Wilson hire, right? Turned his job down 2 years ago, accepted it today because things are different over there. And you see how he's putting together his staff, you know, and then even moving forward. Let's just say he coaches the full length of the contract. The next person that comes in that door is getting a call from John saying, hey, this is a good place to be. You know what I'm saying? And it's in a respected coach listening to another respected coach or that next up-and-coming coach that you think is going to be able to take a leap and be an elite coach, they're going to listen to somebody that's been in that spot, somebody with a resume like him. So I like it. I like the direction we heading in. Like I said, I'm not about to sit up here and get delusional with numbers, but I do think it's going to be a different-looking Giants team on the field this year from a decision-making standpoint. You know, if we lose a game, let's just lose the game straight up. Let's not have it because we got an offensive lineman that committed 4 penalties on the same drive, and you know what I mean. Like, just I don't want that kind of shit going on. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm hyped.
Definitely. Let's talk about our team, the Chicago Bears, which a lot of you here to hear us talk about. So this is not the first domino that failed this week, but it was one of the biggest. DJ Moore, friend of the program. He was traded yesterday to the Buffalo Bills for a 2nd-round pick and a 5th-round pick. Gotta say, Ryan Poles, you cooked with that one because I did not think we were getting a 2nd-round pick for a wide receiver who's on a big contract and is going to be 30 in like a year and a half. So shout out to you for getting that. I was in a dentist when this news broke, so I wasn't able to react right away, and people started just hitting my phone. I was like, and I wasn't getting any work on it yet. It was scheduling some work. So, but I'm in there looking at my phone, and I'm like, oh, shit. So my initial reaction to this was not shocking. Obviously, we knew this was going to probably come down. We've been hearing about it, honestly, since the season ended. But it doesn't take away that kind of sucks. You know, you kind of get attached to players, especially Chicago sports fans. And DJ is a cool dude. I think that sometimes he got a lot of flack from Bears fans because he doesn't, you know, he's not energetic. He's the Arthur meme with the hands in the pocket. That's DJ Moore 24/7. It doesn't matter if their team lost 5 in a row, won 5 in a row. He moved like somebody who high all the time, but he not. That's DJ Moore. You know, I've had the pleasure of interviewing him like 3 times. Looked out for me in the Super Bowl last week. So big shout out to DJ. But these are kind of things that happen when you're trying to build a Super Bowl contender. You got to make moves. And also when you draft a wide receiver like you drafted Luther Burden last year or Roma Dunze the year before, you're going to have to give them more possessions And so I think it was tough. It's going to take a while for Bears fans to kind of get over it. But it also kind of goes to the culture that they built. They sent him to a good team. And that's one thing that Ryan Poles has been doing. When he's gotten rid of these players, he sent them to good, soft, and landing spots. Sent Khalil Mack to the Chargers. Sent Roquan to the Ravens. Sending him now to DJ Moore. Going from Caleb Williams to Josh Allen, it's not bad. The only bad thing here is you got to live in Buffalo. But, you can't have everything. So I think that it was a tough move, but a necessary move. Bane, what's your thoughts on
it? First of all, I will say rest in peace to my big homie Fred, my former supervisor, work at Best Buy. Part of the reason why I'm gonna give this is because yesterday I went to the hospital to give pay my final respects, and that's why I found out that DJ Moore was getting traded. I was sitting there talking to him and his talking to his wife, and right in the middle of us having a sad conversation, I said, "Damn, DJ Moore just got traded," and she was like, "Huh?" And then we went back to it. So I didn't have a lot of time to process that DJ Moore got traded because I was really in a real sad situation. But
That's how much the Bears mean to the city.
Right.
In a sad moment, things have to stop for a minute because DJ Moore got traded.
We stopped for a minute. We was like, DJ Moore got traded. But then right before we was leaving, I'm sitting there looking, I'm like, damn. And we had to do it. Like, this is one of those things that we're not used to. And crazy enough, I'm going to say this is the first time I think this is one of those we're not used to things. And the only thing I can equate to it is when the old heads was talking about how pissed they were when Wilbur Marshall left the Bears to go to the Washington Redskins at the time. The Bears has never been in a situation where we've had something sort of an embarrassment of riches. This what this would be. When you have Rome, Luther, Cole, Colston, and then you got DJ Moore, who had a down year and stuff. So when you look at contracts, when you look at the salary cap, this was an easy move to make because now damn near your whole, all of your skill positions on the offensive side, for the exception of Cole Kmet, are all on rookie contracts. So that right there makes DJ Moore expendable. His stats wasn't where they used to be. That makes him expendable. But the fact that we got a second round pick, when you look at some of these other wide receivers that were out, oh man, this was a great day for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears. And low-key, it was a great day for DJ Moore. I mean, the Chicago Bears, I believe, will be fighting for a chance to go to the Super Bowl, and you're playing with Caleb Williams. But now you go be the number one for Josh Allen. We can say we won. I know we be talking a lot of stuff about Josh Allen here on this program. But, DJ Moore and Josh Allen, I have nothing but high hopes for that. So, as you said, it's a win-win. Ryan Poles is not just throwing players out there. He's putting them in good positions. In this case, he put them in a good position, the player in a good position, and he got some capital back. So, shouts out to Poles, shouts out to DJ Moore. Thanks for all of the memories and everything. He's definitely somebody that I think will be not only sorely missed in Chicago, but he could come back anytime he wants to and stuff. But it does remind me of when the Bears did not re-sign, did not re-sign Wilbur Marshall. And Wilbur Marshall basically gave us the middle finger, was like, yo, I'm going to the Redskins and stuff. And I know he was sorely missed in the 80s when he left. But, hey, man, we're going to see. We're going to see how Rome and Luther step up because they're definitely going to have to.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, especially Rome. I'm more nervous about Rome than I am Luther. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Luther got a lot of YN energy. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I hope
not really worried about Luther.
I hope that DJ Moore does well in Buffalo because, I see that they go through great lengths to, defend Josh Allen when he comes up short. But I hope that DJ Moore actually goes there and does well. Whatever the win-loss record says, whatever. But, I hope he does well because I don't want him to just be another dude where it's like, well, we Josh ain't got nobody. We tried to, we got him and he ain't, I don't want that to keep being the thing with these players, when this guy comes up short and shit. Cause I think DJ Moore is a hell of a player, right? And I hear you speak about his character all the time. So like I value that more than anything. So him being a good dude, you know, is over all of that. So, but I hope he does well though. I do.
I'm rooting for DJ. Definitely hope he does well. They said the Bears play. Do they play the Bills?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Is it in Chicago or Buffalo?
I want to say it's in Buffalo.
Interesting.
I might be wrong, but I want to say it's in
It
Buffalo.
could be a nice little Thursday night football game. Said maybe this trade for Buffalo getting DJ can finally have. I don't know. I think Buffalo. I got a hot take about Buffalo and Baltimore. I think their windows are closed. I just think they are. Like I understand they got new coaches.
I'm not mad at that.
They still got 2 MVP quarterbacks, and I laugh when Bills fans, not Bills fans, but when Josh Allen fans, Lamar fans battle because it's a Spider-Man meme. They're the same dude.
Yeah.
Same issues. They both can't beat Pat.
Yep.
Both can have multiple opportunities.
Yeah, it's only one Pat, man. It's only one Pat. Stop trying to put all these other quarterbacks in the conversation with him.
It's only one Pat.
It's just him. Like that's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I think DJ Moore probably get a BSF chain out of this. You know what I'm saying? Also, so
so that's why I kind of look at it. I think their windows are closed. You know what I'm saying? We'll see if I'm wrong, but that's just kind of why I feel with it. Like I think it's gonna be one of the things where you pay Josh, you pay Lamar, they're still gonna be competitive. But them going and winning the Super Bowl, I just can't see.
I'm done believing in a Josh Allen led team, and it's not because he's not talented. Like he's very talented, and he's like it kind of like pissed me off really. Like when they lost, the fashion in which they lost, because I had a lot of faith in them because of Josh Allen. I'm just cool on the narratives about him being like this big time winning champ. No, you either gonna do it or you ain't, and you're just gonna be another dude that had good regular season numbers and big moments, and your highlight tape is gonna look amazing. But I'm cool on Josh, bro. Like coming into this season, I don't look at the Bills as like, man, they gonna after that loss, they might get worse. I still don't know why they fired the coach.
They might lose in the first round.
Yeah, that's just me. I wouldn't have fired the coach. Y'all right there. You let the wrong guy go. You ask me, but I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's Josh Allen, bro. You can't like get rid of him. I mean, we're gonna go from that. He's still one of the most talented in the league. I'm just cool on because Josh Allen is in this game, I'm giving him a chance to win it when it comes playoff time. I'm cool on that.
I will say this. The media does treat Josh Allen way different. Like, I've never seen someone's excuses by the media. Forget fans. Fans going fan. But the media, the way they tweet about him, the way they talk about him, it's just very weird.
They babying
very
him.
Weird. Yeah.
They babying him. They call everybody else damn near what they are. And you know what I mean? Even dudes that's real good, they like, I don't know. It might be time to move. You know, Josh Allen, it's like, oh, you gotta feel bad for Josh there, man. If that referee
that's Tony Romo.
Just feel bad for him. No, we don't.
I'm sorry. I don't. He's rich. He is an MVP player. And he used to see Haley Steinfeld naked every night. I don't feel bad for him about anything. Like at all.
I don't care how red his face getting these press conferences and shit. I don't care about that shit, dog.
It doesn't mean anything. But I want to talk trust level, man. When we're talking about the new receivers who are going to be replacing DJ Moore, which I kind of feel like at the end of the season, we kind of slowly saw the phase out. Like, they didn't completely phase DJ out, obviously. DJ made 2 of the biggest catches of the season. Week 16 in Green Bay, and then the playoff game by Green Bay. And I also love that he still said F the Packers in his farewell to the Bears speech.
Yeah.
I was like, that's what I want to hear. So I think that all eyes on Roma Dunze and Luther Burke. Now, I will say this. I don't think neither one of them will be the number one option. The number one option is going to be Mr. Colston Loveland, which I know Mariano loves from Michigan.
Hey, that's my boy. That's my boy. I think I texted you about it too, man. When after that game, I was like, yo, man, that's a dope. Y'all got I knew it though when y'all drafted him. I said, oh yeah, they got one. I know they got one. So I'm always happy to see my Wolverines do good in the league. So shout out to him.
He had an incredible season, incredible playoffs. He had 13 catches in a playoff game. Like that's some Gronk and some Travis Kelce type stuff, which I really do believe that him and Caleb are building that chemistry. So I do believe he's going to be the number one option overall. Luther had a really good rookie season, and I need him to continue to grow on the things that he did. He's a speed option. Once he gets the ball, who knows where he can go. But Rome Odunze, and I'm gonna do a zoom in here. Romulus Odunze, you better be in front of a jug machine right now, brother. Because the amount of drops you had last year, that can't fly no more. If you catch that ball in the end zone against the Los Angeles Rams, we're in the NFC Championship game.
Yes, sir.
If you even convert half of the drop passes you had this season, Caleb gets that 4,000 yards. Now, it wasn't just you who's dropping stuff. OZ was dropping. Colston had a couple drops. Luther had a couple drops. Even Kyle Monangai and DeAndre Swift. This entire receiving core is not immune from dropping the football. But you were number one. You were a top 10 draft pick. Very rarely do the Bears go offense twice in the first round. So now you got to step up. All the pressure is on you. You got to be a number one. And I'm going to give you a little grace because you did get hurt. You missed about 6 to 7 games. And your numbers before that were really, really good. I'm slightly concerned. I will do my trust level on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most trust. I'm at a 6 with Rome. Like, there's a lot of room to grow. Luther, I'm at a solid 9. I think Luther Burden is a playmaker. Not only do I think Luther Burden is a playmaker, sometimes you just need a player who's got a little bit a young dude spirit to him. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen a challenge that Luther didn't want to take. He walks the walk. He talks the talk. I love how he embraced the Packers rivalry. You know, we're doing the Undertaker choke sign. Like, he's not playing around. So I think another year with the confidence that he had is just going to take it to a level. And it would not surprise me if he's wide receiver 1 by the end of next season. So I would say my trust level on him is a 9. Bane, where you at with this?
I think Luther's the number one. Like, I think Luther's the number one. You don't make this move if you don't feel like Luther Burden is the number one. That's the dog. That's the one that's going to give you those possession yards. That's the one that also is going to be able to go deep. He's your deep threat, right there. So I think Luther Burden is the number one, and Rome is the number 2. When it comes to the wide receivers, talking about the wide receivers, I do agree with you that the number one option is Colston Loveland. But you don't make this move if you're not comfortable with Luther Burden. And that's why I believe when it comes to the wide receivers, that's going to be your number one option because he's the one that's going to be able to get you those possession yards. He's going to be the one that to be able to give you that. He's your deep threat too, as well. So I'm cool with this and stuff, and I do trust Rome. I do trust him. And sometimes you need jolts in order for you to get it. And being that DJ Moore was the leader in the locker room, or at least in the wide receiver room, and losing him and knowing that you have to step up, this is going to be the best thing that happened to Rome. I just think that Luther Burden is the number one. And the fact that we're having a conversation, who's number one between Colston, Luther, and Rome, is the reason why DJ Moore is expendable.
Yep, and there's also a conversation we've never had in Chicago.
Ever.
I got two things real quick. One, Scott, I'm proud of you, man, because you said you gotta have that young dude spirit, and I know you probably wanted to say something else. You would have used a different type of lingo.
I really did. I edited myself.
So I understand you had to DEP baby boy it up right there. So I
want to get
that.
sponsors.
Yeah. Also about Rome Odunze. Rome Odunze was an absolute dog in college. For anybody who did not watch him in college, please go back and watch his tape. I remember watching some of those games being like, that's a Sunday guy. Like that he's going to be playing on Sunday for a long time.
Hype when he felt
listen, he scared me in that championship game that my Michigan Wolverines won, by the way, but he scared me because there was a deep shot, I think, like early in the game that he caught, and I was just like, this is just what he does. Like, and I've seen him do this in the league too. Like he's a dog. I'm seeing flashes of like what he could be. I just don't want his who is his pops is moving around social media like Devin Haney Sr.
Yeah.
I just don't want that to keep on
Rome
going on.
Senior got to put the phone down.
Yeah, you got to put the phone down, man. Because I mean, obviously, on the outside looking in, like locker room wise, I'm pretty sure that those guys are good. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like
Daddy be
put the
acting
phone
like
down,
the way
bro.
they thought Caleb Daddy was going. Caleb Daddy just be chilling. He be at the game. Don't say Rome Daddy got the KD burner accounts.
But I like Rome Odunze though. I do. I
love
him,
Rome, man.
Yeah.
And Rome is also, and that's why I always be saying, like, having the privilege to cover this team. One thing about this team, they're overall good dudes, man. Like, Rome is the nicest dude on planet Earth. He's just super nice all the time. So I'm rooting for him. And here's his stats. Just off how many games he played this? I think he played like, was it 12? 11 or 12 games. I don't know. But 44 receptions, 661 yards, and 6 touchdowns. And that's with the amount of drops he had, and that's with missing 6 to 7 games. So obviously the talent is there. And like you said, Bang, without having DJ Moore there. And we all know when you have a presence like DJ, top receivers want the ball. And, there was some games where he wasn't getting the ball, and I felt like Caleb be like, well, I got to get DJ the ball. That's not going to be an issue anymore. So that'd be the thing. But Mariano, I had a question for you. What was your thoughts on Luther Burden from his because that to me was a steal of the draft. When I saw that, I was like, we got one.
100%. It's one of those picks that make you look at like Brian Poles and you like, he might know something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you do have a playmaker, like you said. It's a privileged position to be in, to look at wide receivers and say, damn, which one of y'all do I want to, you know what I mean? Like, how do we want to do this offense? And you're not sitting there scratching your head about it, because I think Luther Burden is he's just a playmaker, bro. Like, he's scary. He's part of the reason why Caleb is scary, because it's like, that these two guys is out there on the field at the same time, dog. Anything can happen. He could throw on the ball wherever, and he could probably run it in for 6. Like, it's just one of those type of things. So I like him. I like him to complement Rome. I think that if you only had one or the other, I mean, maybe it'd be, kind of you might look at, you might look at Luther Burden by himself and be a little bit different. But I think that they're the perfect complement for each other, especially with the quarterback they have. So yeah, I like Luther. I do.
Definitely, man. Let's talk about the biggest news of the week. They completely caught me off guard. When our 27-year-old Pro Bowl center just decided to say, "Hey, Doe, let me out," I was completely floored. I was editing a clip at my desk, and them ESPN alerts come to your phone, and I didn't see the full alert. All I said was Adam Schefter, Chicago Bears Pro Bowl center Drew Dalman has informed the team. ... I was, oh God. I was like, I don't even want. Did he retire? So now I click on the link. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe he retired. And the number one thing that I thought was I had to battle my fan mind and my rational man, grown man mind. Mature grown man mind says, I hope he's good. Fan mind said, how dare this asshole leave me when I need him? That's what that was saying. So I was going back and forth. But when I had Adam Johns today on the Patreon pod, he brought up a good point. The fact that this didn't happen mid-July or right before training camp or right after the draft has helped the Bears so much and just shows the culture that the Bears are building, because Drew Dalman's like, yo, I might as well let Ryan know now so they have enough time to replace him. Because if this happens in July or right before camp, we're screwed. Completely screwed. Right. And now you got to figure out who's going to be the makeshift center for your franchise quarterback, who you already need to find a left tackle, because your young left tackle that you drafted last year, who had a really solid season, what was it, a fibula injury, Bang, or something? It was very under the radar in the Packer game, because like everybody was so hyped about eliminating the Packers. I don't think anybody noticed that Ozzie got hurt till the next morning. And they was, oh, damn. And then later, when you find out he going to miss the entire year, so now we are here in the same spot we were at 12 months ago, needing a new center, and needing a left tackle. And that's why I say that general manager is the toughest job in sports. Because on top of the holes that the Bears already had, now Ryan Poles has got to do this again. Now we're hearing rumors about Tyler Linderbaum from Baltimore. He could be coming to the Bears. There's a lot of rumors over that. You also got who did the Lions drop? Taylor Decker. Taylor Decker has been released by the Lions, and Adam Schefter brought Taylor Decker up today, saying the Bears could be talking to him. Decker still has a lot of love for Ben Johnson, so there's options there to fill these different holes. Which I know how much you want the defensive line to be rebuilt, but if Caleb's not healthy, none of that matters. So I think that should be the number one priority. But I was taken aback, and now we see the Lions center has retired. Today, the Vikings center announced that he retired. Everybody in the NFC North needs centers. Bang, what was your reaction when this happened, and what are your concern levels of trying to, replace them?
Oh, this was tough. This was tough, and this might be underrated. The biggest move of the off season so far. The Bears losing Dalman, because between Dalman, Jonah Jackson, Joe Tooney, all coming in free agency together, it solidified that offensive line. The Bears had to figure it out on the left tackle side. Braxton Jones was there. He gets hurt. They bring in Theo Benedict, and he gets hurt. Ozzie Trapillo comes in, solidifies things, gets hurt during the playoffs. But the interior was great, and he's a Pro Bowler too. Like, don't forget that Drew Dalman was a Pro Bowler. So the center of the line you thought was solidified, especially when you got to figure out what you want to do on the left tackle side. So losing him, 27 years old, young, good rapport with Caleb, that's huge, because what ended up being a weakness last year became a strength this year. He's one of those strengths. However, though, with that being said, the Bears have cap room because of when this was said and how this was done. So looking at some of the candidates for the center position, and now seeing that everybody and their mama want to retire in the center position, it now may turn into a bidding war for some services for some people. So that's
So
also the
Linderbaum finna get
paid. So that is the other part about this too. See, before he retired, well, when he retires, you're in a situation where there's going to be some people that's needing a center, but you might have some time. Now you got the Minnesota Vikings and other people that are in need of a center. You like, yo, we may have to jump in and spend more money than we did last year with Dalman, because Dalman, correct me if I'm wrong, was the third highest paid center in the NFL. Now
Yeah,
you're gonna have to probably make, what's my man named
Linderbaum.
Tyler Lindenbaum. I want to say his name wrong,
Yeah,
but
I've been messing it up all day too.
yeah, you're gonna possibly make him the highest paid center,
Ever.
making more than what you was paying the last guy
Yeah.
who was a Pro Bowler for you, in order to keep your quarterback healthy.
Mariano, man, what's your opinion of the new retirement thing that's been happening a lot in the NFL now? Like since the reveal of, I don't say reveal, but like the more of the emphasis on CTE over the last decade, we're seeing a lot of players leave the game early.
Yeah. I think it's like you said, and I think every fan in the world can relate to having those two different moments of like me as a person and then me as a fan of the team. So like me as a person is like, hey man, do what you got to do, because I looked it up, and then they were talking about like his dad did the same exact thing, right? Like he was temporary paralyzed from an injury, and he retired. It was like abruptly, and so like with him, I can imagine that if you see if you were around to see this kind of thing happen, or you just know about it and you know that this is something that happened, you play the same position, and you play in an era where you're making way more money than anybody has ever made before, especially at these positions, and you have a chance to get out the game while you still got it all. You can still move, And you don't want to end up like some of these ex-athletes who their life is completely different because they stayed around too long. Getting out too soon, well, to us too soon is way better than getting out too late. You know what I mean? So I'm happy for him. But like you said, when you switch to the fan side of it, immediately you start going into like the GM from the couch. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, how we gonna replace this guy? How we gonna do this? We got these plans. We got this good team in place, and then like this happens. You know what I mean? So I'm happy that they're becoming more aware, but it's like, damn,
Yeah.
I wish that sometimes this was like Madden, where like the off-field shit didn't really matter that much. You know what I'm saying? That we could just have a healthy team, and all this shit is just left up to just us and how we want it to play out. But again, like I said, with me knowing the history, especially with his pops, he probably was just like, yo, dog, I don't even want to go down this path. Like you see Bud, right? Bud retired, and Bud was talking about how you might not see those signs of whatever's set for you, for years down the line. You might start exhibiting some of the behavior, and then 5 years later they diagnose you with something. But he like, I'm gonna step away from this before it sit me down. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be sitting somewhere and I can't move the way I used to, or I can't read or talk or do these kind of things. So I'm just hoping that whatever he gets into next is as fulfilling for him, or if not more than like football was. You know what I'm saying? Because that's usually like one of those things when you step away from the game or something that you've been pouring so much into most of your life, is that energy needs to go somewhere. You know what I mean? So I'm like I said, I'm happy for him, to get out the shit while he's still able to walk and understand. Yeah. But I know as fans, for y'all, you like shit.
It stinks, but like you just said with the Pops thing, it makes sense. And it also makes sense to me is he had to give up money from his contract. Right. So if you're giving up money, and this was his first big deal, it tells me it's something serious, or at least there's a real reason behind it.
Yeah, they were saying that his father was an ex-football player.
Yeah, that's what Mariano was just saying.
Yeah, so trying to get out of that. And if it is that, I don't blame it at all. Yeah. Because especially for offensive linemen, that's a war of attrition down there. So I don't blame it at all. You got him, and I don't even think Ryan Kelly was 30.
Nah, he wasn't. He was a 10-year veteran, but
so you got that too. Also, I don't know if you said it, I don't know if you saw it, but the Tremaine Edmonds release is official.
Okay, it's official. So it's Ryan Kelly is 32.
Okay, so 32.
I'm older than all these dudes, man. Born in 1993. I was 5.
Boy, don't even get me started on that. The NBA draft come around, I'll turn that shit right off.
Bro, nothing makes me feel older than training camp, and they give us the roster, and I look at all the birth dates. 2001.
I'm at the age now that when I see these guys, I just turned 38, right? Yeah. And I'm at the age where, like, when I see when these guys were born, the first thing I think about is what album I was listening to or what rapper I was listening to.
Oh, what was going on in sports at the time?
What was going on? Yeah, exactly. Oh, that was the year AI won the MVP. Damn, this was that long ago. Or this was, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, Jay had just dropped this. Damn, we getting old.
These kids learned about 9/11 in a book. I lived it.
Man.
Like, it's crazy, man. And so, like, I was looking at some of the players. I was like, man, if I was fucking at 13, Caleb could be my son. Like, that's a wild thought. Like that humbles you very quickly. And I think it was Zach Pickens called my brother Sir one time. I was like, yeah, you feel old, don't you?
Yeah, that's tough. Sir is crazy.
Damn.
Get called Sir. So, but that kind of, now I understand more about it. Like, I hope that he, whatever it is, he's dealing with it. Maybe he's just like, look, I'm done. I got what I wanted from it. I'm going to go find something else. I got enough money to last me. My kids are good. Stuff is big in sports. I know sports fans, we don't want to hear that, but it's true. So let's go on to Ryan Poles, because I've been saying this for weeks on this show, in group chats. Me and homie Mikey, we be debating about long-term Bears or going for it now. I'm gonna keep saying it. Ryan Poles, do not introduce me to a vibe that you can't maintain. All right. I was 15 yards away from an NFC championship game. So we better be trying to make big moves to take it to the next. I don't want to hear that, oh, we just trying to make the playoffs. No. I know we ain't done that in 20 years, but let's act like the big team we are, okay? I'm not saying just spin crazy and just give up mad draft picks for no reason. But if there's a realistic way to get some big fish, you need to do it. And during lion season of the NFL, like you call it, Bang, I pay attention to subtweets from national media. And I listen to the words my colleagues say in the local media space. And everybody keeps hinting at Poles having a move or two up his sleeve. Adam Johns even said it on our pod. I'm not going to tell you what his bold prediction was because you got to subscribe to Patreon and check that on Monday. But I feel like he's cooking something. You know, just the way, like a week ago, we were pretty much in cap, I won't say cap hell, but there was some cap issues. And now look, $42 million in cap relief, and that's before restructures. You know, you get rid of a Tremaine Edmonds. Big salute to Tremaine. The only positive for me is now we ain't got to hear white people say, it's Chicago, yeah. Because we all know what the real part of that quote is. You know, and there's some people who don't know what word comes after that. So I'm leaving here with something. I like Tremaine. I thought he did well here, but I ain't got to hear that no more, and I'm perfectly fine with it. Bane, what do you think that Poles is cooking? You think he got something coming this offseason, or is he just trying to get more flexibility for coming seasons?
Dan, it's a trick bag ass question. And the reason why I say it's a trick bag, because I think you and your brother have a good point and a good argument. Do you go after something now, or do you work this as a long-term
That's
thing?
not my brother. My brother on my side, that's Mikey.
Oh, that's Mikey. Okay, my bad. I think that's a great conversation. And here's the thing. I am under the assumption that you could do it both ways. You could do both. You could go so let's just say, for instance, as we're doing this podcast, you got to ring the alarm, and we get Max Crosby. Do we think Max Crosby gonna be good for only 3 years?
No.
The reason why you get him is for the long term. Like, you don't get him just to try to win this year and then that's it. You do it for the long term. You look at some of the shrewd deals that the New England Patriots have made and some of the people that they got. If Randy Moss didn't tweak, Randy Moss would have never got traded. And they just let some people go early. And most of them was their draft picks. So you can look at the Philadelphia Eagles. That's probably right now, as we sit, the best example.
Look at the Los Angeles Rams. They ain't had a pick in like 5 years.
They haven't picked in 5 years. But the reason why I say the Eagles is because they do it through trades and they do it through picks. Like, look how many Georgia Bulldogs is on that team. It's like you just go pick the whole team, but then you go out there and you make some
To answer
trades.
the comment, yes, I'm an Arsenal fan,
Yes,
and come on, you Gunners! Shout out to you.
So you can do both, and being that all of the skill positions on the offensive side of the ball on rookie contracts, you could go ahead and do your thing. So I think you could do both. I don't want to necessarily say F them picks, but you grab those picks so you can possibly have capital to go get a Max Crosby. And I'll say something that I said a couple of weeks ago. We keep talking about Max Crosby. The Cleveland Browns going to have to tell me nah.
That too. I'm glad you said that.
The Cleveland Browns going to have to tell me no. The Cleveland Browns going, hey, I got 2 firsts and I got 2 seconds this year. Tell me no.
The Myles Garrett thing, pause for this comparison, is like a bad woman that you know you probably can't pull, but she gonna have to tell me no.
She gonna have to say nah.
That's what that is. That shorty in the corner, like, I'm probably shooting out my hip right here, but she gonna have to tell me no.
She gonna have to tell me
no. I gotta
no.
hear it.
Yeah.
Hey, you're right. You gonna have to hear. So we could talk all this about Max Crosby, but hey, Cleveland, you could get 2 1s and 2 2s right now.
I would trade 2 ones with a smile on my face. There was only 2 people, actually not even 2. There's 1 person on this roster that I wouldn't give up for Miles Garrett. Caleb Wood. That is it. I would give him a blank list. What do you want?
Yeah, you make the offer.
Yeah, I would drive to Cleveland and pick him up. He ain't got to fly. Yeah. We're gonna road trip.
Yeah, and let me also say this. When you do that, you don't think some of these players gonna come in for the low? You don't think that? You don't think they gonna be like, well, hey, they kind of looking good over there. You think Kevin Byard ain't gonna say backload this contract?
Yep.
Like, you think, like, we can talk all we want to about the needs, but when I look at Max Crosby, or if I really look at Myles Garrett with Montez Sweat, and Gervon ain't going nowhere, so that's gonna be helpful there. And you look at the defensive backs that we have. Oh, we can make some maneuvers, Jack. Don't even worry.
And that's why I want to say about this comment. Shout out to Tonyo0624 in the chat. He said, we have no safeties, 1 linebacker. He has no left ankle. We have 1 DT, and our CB2 is a free agent. I'm not trading for Kirk Cousins. These are all valid concerns. My answer for that would be, you can find you a linebacker. I think linebacker is nowhere near as important as it was last year. You can find a way to get that. On the defensive tackle, you bring it up. Tez, Gervon, another year of Dio, whatever. The good thing about this defensive line, this is a lot of number 2, number 3 guys. You add a 1, like a Max Crosby, makes a world difference. But if you add a Myles Garrett, Montez Sweat might have 15 sacks just because nobody's guarding. He had 10 last year. So you add that, and maybe and like you just said, Bane, more people are going to want to join. You might be able to get somebody for the low.
And
you know what I'm saying?
And restructuring some contracts. Would you want to restructure Montez Sweat contract without having somebody on that right side? No. But if you put Myles Garrett on that right side, you can restructure that contract and keep Montez Sweat a little bit longer.
And the secondary is the last of my concerns. That's the strongest group.
That's the strongest
group by far.
Yeah, you could go call Tooney and be like, let's restructure your contract. I bet. You could call Jonah Jackson and let's say restructure that contract. I bet. When a deal like that happens, them other folks, I'll restructure. Let's come on. Yeah. Let's get.
And before I go to you, Mark, this is what Adam Schefter said on Pat McAfee the other day. He said people are underrating Caleb Williams' promoting power. He was like, Max Crosby wants to go to the Bears. Whether the Raiders can get the most for him is a different conversation. But he wants to go to the Bears. Did you see how he was beaming on that podcast? Did you see how Myles Garrett was trolling Micah Parsons, doing the Iceman thing? He was like, nah, they kind of own y'all now. Like Caleb, this is something that Bears fans aren't used to. You got a quarterback who people want to play for. You got a head coach that people want to play for. People are going to be like, it's kind of like when everybody's playing for the Miami Heat, or when people take in veteran minimums to play with Steph Curry. It's going to be the same thing. Trey Henderson might be like, you know what? I'll sign for the Lolo. This is going to be something special right here. So if there's an opportunity to do that, I think we should do that. Now, Mari, my question for you, I'm kind of change this question a little bit. What do you think about the going forward now or window kind of conversation in the NFL?
Oh, there's a trade. What? Mikey just dropped it in the chat. There's been a trade.
Oh,
the
what
Patriots
happened?
are trading center Garrett Bradbury to the Chicago Bears, giving them a new center. So the new center for the Chicago Bears is Garrett Bradbury, who goes from playing with Drake May to now playing with Caleb Williams. He also played he was drafted by the Minnesota Vikings in the 2019 NFL draft.
Now I'm finna be like Ed on Good Burger. I know some of these words. I don't know nothing about this dude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need a scouting report.
Yeah, so he started his career with the Minnesota Vikings. He signed last year with the New England Patriots. So we officially have our new center, no Lindenbaum. So that means we're not spending a whole bunch of money. Don't
Damn.
see what the draft capital is yet, but the Bears have their new center.
So there's that. Now the question for this, does that mean he goes all in on trying to get Crosby now? That's, I think, is the next question here.
Yeah, this the thing though. With y'all situation, it's unique because, like you said, this is the first time that Bears fans can like remember that it's been a quarterback this electric in the city, right? Somebody who, like you said, other players they want to come play for. But that draft capital thing kind of only matters depending on where you are in your, the progress, right? So if you're trying to rebuild something, yeah, you got to hold on to those draft picks. But if you feel like you right there, you can get to the NFC Championship game, and then you can get further than that. You can probably win it all. You kind of got to get rid of those picks and trade them for somebody who somebody else already drafted for you. They already got the tape out there. You already see what you're getting from them. Instead of you trying to just go out here and use a late first round pick or a second,
Traded him
whatever,
for a
just for
fifth.
something. Yeah, that's what y'all got for the in this trade.
Yep, they traded him for a fifth round pick.
Yeah, you gotta spend those picks to get to where you need to get to, because those windows in the NFL, like we talk about these like top teams for the past couple of years, their windows are closing or closed. So when you see your opportunity, you got to take a chance, because I don't think the fans gonna be too mad at somebody that went for it and missed. You know what I'm saying? But they will resent somebody who had a chance to do something and probably just played it more conservative. So shit, spend the picks.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I wish I knew more about this dude. I'm trying to see what
And it's a
the pulse
2027
is.
pick. Um,
2027 pick.
Yep, he was drafted in the first round at pick 18 in the 2019 NFL draft. About 6'3", 300 pounds. He won the Remington Trophy for the top center in college football at NC State. So yeah, I'm trying to get as much as I can um, talk about it. But yeah, we got us a center.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I think that officially takes Linderbaum off the list. So I don't know much about
Um,
dude. I'm gonna do some research
so
when we get
so
done
yeah,
here.
so I'm on PFF. And this is for this year. Um, pass block snaps player, listen, penalty scene. He didn't allow a penalty. He didn't allow a sack.
Ooh.
He only allowed 4 hits. He allowed 20 pressures. So that's as much as I could find right there
So
on
I seen a
PFF.
couple people say Aaron Lemon on Twitter says one of the worst centers in the league. No clue how they would make this move
Yeah.
unless he's depth. Now somebody else says back the terrible mediocre centers. So that's what the post is right now. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wish I could give y'all a professional opinion. I don't know much about dude. Um, I'm gonna have to trust polls because I don't know. Maybe this is depth. Who knows? We'll see more on Monday. But and I never trust Bears
I
fans'
mean, Drake
opinions
May
right
was
away.
getting his ass kicked in the Super Bowl, though.
What was it like throughout the season though?
Yeah.
Because that Seattle Seahawks D line was running through a lot of offensive lines. So to be fair. So I don't know. We'll
Yeah,
do
them boys
research on
serious.
that, man. But let's move on to our final topic. We're gonna pivot to the NBA for just a little bit. Mark, before I get to this, how much NBA have you watched this year? Because to me,
A decent
I've
amount,
kind
cool
of
amount.
become a casual a little bit with
Yeah,
the NBA and Major League Baseball because of Jerry Reinsdorf. And I've really just
yeah,
become a
yeah,
NFL soccer man.
yeah. I feel that.
What you been feeling about the league this year?
So it's definitely not been one of my one of my favorite seasons or whatever. It's nothing really crazy. You know what I'm saying? I've been real casual. I think part of that is because that team that plays in Chicago has been terrible for so long that it's just like, you know what? It don't even matter no more. You know what I mean? What I will say though is what helps and hurts the NBA watching experience are like the shows around it to me. You know what I mean? I think that kind of dictates how people damn near look at the product, because like certain shows have you excited to watch the league because they highlight certain players. They highlight different players than just the Shea, the Luka, the Jaylen Brown. It's like the top guys. Like they highlight other players and other storylines, right? But if you only pay attention to like just the national, the stuff, the top shows and all that, you will hate it. You will absolutely hate the product. So it's a little bit of mix of both, where it's like the product itself ain't been all that stellar. You know what I mean? The last couple of years, like anyway, we still end up getting good moments because these are some of the most talented dudes on earth. But yeah, I'm way more into football now than I was when I was younger, and because it used to be different. The scales used to be, a little bit different. It used to be way more basketball. Football was kind of down here, but now it's like I think the NFL is a way better product. So,
Yeah, for me, I think the biggest issue I have with the NBA and Major League Baseball, outside of my team just not trying, which is the biggest issue. Like, I can deal with losing. Obviously, I'm a Bears fan. I can deal with losing. I can't deal with just, we're fine with being mediocre. We're not going to
no way.
anything. There's no plan. So outside of that, what I love most about the NFL and what I love about this last year, me just watching a lot of soccer, is that every game means something. Like, if the Bears win week 1 against Minnesota, we're the one was the first round bye, not Seattle. The margins are thin. You ain't really got to tune into the NBA till, honestly, this month. I don't even look in Major League Baseball standings till July. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the biggest issue. But Jayson Tatum, one of the NBA's biggest young stars, towards Achilles last year, I think it was the second round of the playoffs against the Celtics, not against the Knicks, is making his return today, 10 months from the injury. And I got to say, why? There is no reason to rush back. We see how Achilles affect players who took the full 12 months. You can pretty much take 30 games off of KD's playing list every year because of Achilles. Klay Thompson hasn't looked like even 60% of what he used to be. Achilles just take you out. Achilles ended Kobe's career, and he's too young for that. I think what Tyrese Halliburton is doing the best thing, sitting out the entire. Now, granted, their team is pretty much tanking, so when he comes back, they'll have like a draft pick and other stuff to add onto an already team that went to the finals. The Celtics are playing real well, which I said at the beginning of the year that they're not going to be as bad as people think they're going to be. Let JB have his time, see how far he can get you, and you come back. I'm not expecting him to really be playing heavy minutes for the rest of the year. And when you're trying to fight for a top 2 seed, I just don't see the reason. Stop trying to be Superman. I don't get it at all. Maury, what's your take on this?
So the thing about it is like this, right? Boston is doing really well. They're doing, a lot better than most people probably expected them to be doing, even though, Jaylen Brown he's an incredible player, right? I don't understand anything about this, dog, because forget about how Boston is doing. Like, if they were doing bad, would you sit out still? Would you not even think about coming back? Because they're doing well. And I don't think that coach will have the issue figuring it out from a chemistry standpoint, or like where he fits in and how this, looks now that he's back. But I just don't understand it, bro. There's no need to. You don't have to prove shit to us. Like, you already won. We know you one of the best in the league. We know your talent is through the roof, but it's like, dog, you really don't have to do this. It's March. This shit don't matter, bro. You know what I mean? Because if you go out there and even look like you turned your ankle some type of way, or you get on the bench and it looked like you limped off a little bit, it's going to be panic. Like, just it's really just for nothing. I really don't understand it. Like, there's nothing to be proved here, dog. Like, just get your full rest. Make sure that, like you say, you take that whole year. Like, this is way too soon, dog. For Achilles, bro. Like,
you too
ACL,
young,
cool. He would have been back better than ever 2 months ago. You know what I mean? With the advances they done made with medicine these days. But Achilles, take that whole year, dog, please. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, and now I'm worried for him when he plays, because it's gonna be natural injuries where, even if it's nothing serious, where he's gonna miss 2 weeks to a month. That just happens in the recovery process.
This shit ain't worth it, dog. You come around the screen wrong, or somebody run into you, missed an assignment, and this, and you bump knees with somebody. Like, it just ain't worth it, dog. It really ain't. It's gonna be way more of a distraction now. then if you just continue to chill because you've been chilling, they all right.
Yeah, and looking good in scrimmages is much different than being guarded by the Detroit Pistons for a 7.
Yeah, because those dudes that's in scrimmage, they want to see you do well. They can't wait until you get out there and you can do all the moves and shit. They ain't trying to kill you out there on that court, dog. They only going
exactly,
at certain speeds with you. So this ain't really that. I hope he does well. I hope he's healthy. I hope you don't look like you out there hobbling and shit like that. But hey man, I would have rather told him chill. I would have just sent him the Y instrumental and nothing on it, nothing. Just send him the instrumental. Like just think.
You said KD hooping right now. Yeah, he tore his Achilles 7 years ago. He didn't even get back to full-time playing until like 3 years after that. It was a while ago. I was 29 in the finals.
But I will add, maybe it's a Dominique Wilkins type of situation. Dominique Wilkins tore his Achilles back when, if you tear your Achilles, your career might be over, Jack. And I think he came back after 10 months as well. And he averaged almost 30 a game right after and was 5th in MVP voting. So we'll see if he's more like Dominique Wilkins, whose game was built on jumping. It was built on athleticism. So I'm nervous as shit too. Like I'm wondering, fam, why you got to come back now? Like, what we doing? Like, are you that nervous about Jaylen Brown taking your spot or something? I don't know. But I'm nervous too. But I am holding out hope that this is more like Dominique Wilkins and less like some of these other folks who have not played. And let's just say, for instance, it is similar to Dominique Wilkins. Then you might have people looking at some of them other players like, yo, you could have been played.
That's very true, man. So hopefully, that's my damn dog. Stop barking. Bro, it's 5 o'clock, bro. The mailman ain't even outside.
He must have heard about the trade.
He must have. he must have heard about it. So he don't need really to jump much for that whack ass step side 3.
No, that's a fact though. That's a fact. Yeah.
That's very true.
Running up and down that court is a whole different thing, though. We gonna see, though.
Exactly. That fatigue gonna hit in. But that is all we got for y'all today on this edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. Maury, man, you got anything dropping? What's up with you? Any content you can expect from you?
Yeah, man. I just recorded a new episode of All for the Love this week. I'm working on another show. I mean, I can't really say like too much. If you've been around for a while, then you kind of know. Like, there's a show that I had. It was one of my babies. You know what I mean? I'm thinking about bringing that one back. So I'm recording something for that this weekend. Shout out to producer Bethany. We got some stuff we working on. Some stuff that we've been recording, put in the we got it in the vault right now and shit like that. But yeah, man, just more All for the Love.
Definitely, man. I'm looking forward to see what you got coming, man. Bang, what's going on? Some dude making a comeback next week.
Some dude should be making a comeback real soon. Got to talk to Mike, man. It's been a lot going on, man. As I said, one of my big homies had passed away, and stuff. So I ain't really had time to really like have some conversations around it. With that being said, though, first Black Champ this weekend.
First Black Champ. Look out for that. I will be back on Monday. I pre-recorded an episode of the I'm Not Gonna Hold You Monday pod. Me and Adam Johns from CHGO talking all things Bears offseason. Hopefully it won't be too dated by Monday with whatever happens this weekend. But I think we did a good job of keeping it pretty broad so you can still enjoy it. So look out for that. Got a couple other pods dropping too. I did one with my man Big Waz. He had a good pod. We talked about his come up in the sports media industry.
Shout out to Waz.
Like that. Shout out to Waz. So that'll be dropping in the coming weeks as well, man. So, to follow us on all social media platforms. The links to all 3 of our social medias are in the description box. Subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. Road to 1,000 subscribers, Patreon, all that good stuff, man. Shout out to everybody who was in the chat. And we gonna holler at y'all, man. We about here.
Yeah.